Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome, and definitely make sure to subscribe so you can join my YouTube family here. We can be friends and talk about makeup and share tips. So today's video is going to be a fall look makeup tutorial, and I am so excited about this because my favorite type of makeup is fall makeup because I can get away with a dramatic eye and dramatic lip and no one's gonna judge me. So whenever I do makeup, I love to go very dramatic. It's like go big or go home, right? So I live for warm toned, very sultry looks. As you guys know, I don't use black, so I do that sultry look with the browns, but still sultry. So I actually went to Sephora about 2 or 3 weeks ago because I'm scrolling through my emails and I find a coupon from Sephora and I'm like, wait, hold on. This never happens, right? Like, this never happens. At least in my head, in that moment, it never happened. So I was like, I need to use this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember ever getting any coupon from Sephora other than that Sephora Appreciation coupon, which is that 20% they do twice a year. But other than that, I've never really gotten anything. So as soon as I opened up that email, I was like, I have to do this. I have to go because this never happens, right? That sounds logical, right? So it was a $15 off a 50 coupon, and honestly, that never happens. So I was like, Lord, this is a sign. This is a sign, right? So I ran with it. But this time I was smart. Or so I thought I was smart. I went on Sephora, the app, and I looked up everything that I wanted to make sure that I stayed at the $50 mark because there's no reason I needed to go above that. So I get into Sephora and I'm like, I have a plan, I know exactly what I'm doing, and then all of a sudden I of course walk everything, and as I'm going to the register I feel good. I'm like, you know what, I picked up a few things more than what I thought I was gonna do, but I didn't go overboard. The guy rings me up and it's like $170 and I'm like, but how? I don't know how that happens, but it honestly happens to me every time, so I don't know why I'm so surprised. Like, does that happen to anyone else? Like, you get up there and you're like, oh, I feel good, I didn't do that bad, and then they ring you up and it's like twice, 3 times what you thought it was gonna be, and then you realize, yeah, I did horrible. But whatever. At least I got $15 off, right? So it was worth it. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself so I don't feel terrible. So yeah, I ended up only having to spend $50. Had a plan, but did not execute it. And I ended up spending 3 times what I wanted. But whatever, it is what it is. I'm happy with the things that I got because they were beautiful in the store and I'm really excited to use them. So as I was going to Sephora, I had in mind that I wanted to do this video, something like a very fall look tutorial. So I gravitated towards the cranberries and very warm toned. One of the things that I picked up was this Huda Beauty palette right here. The reason I got the mini is because, yeah, I like the big one, but am I really going to use it? Like, I have 20 palettes sitting there that I show no love to, and it's just wasted money. So I'm like, you know what? My new thing now is to get the small one just so I don't feel too bad about it. It's like, yeah, I didn't use it, but at least I didn't not use the big one. You know, it's only like $27, so I'm okay with that. Rather than like $65. That I wouldn't be okay with. But this I could do. I'm also gonna try to incorporate the Norvina palette because honestly I have not touched this since I bought this, and it's been like 6 weeks since I got this and I have not used it once. And I need to use it because I spent my money on it. So I need to use it. So yeah, I have a whole bunch of makeup here and I'm just gonna throw a look on, and if you guys want to see what look I come up with, then definitely keep watching. Alright guys, so as I'm sure you all know by now, my first step is always to prime my skin, and I always go for this guy right here. So it's a Smashbox Photo Finish So Chill Primer Water. Just gonna shake it up and spritz it all over my face. So I'm just going to let that soak into my skin for a little bit and then move on to primer. And today for my actual primer, I'm going to use the Hourglass Mineral Veil Oil-Free Primer, which is this guy right here. Like I mentioned before, I've used this in the past and it was okay. I just don't see anything spectacular with it. But recently I've been using it and actually loving it. I think the reason is because I used to have a little bit of problematic skin, so obviously anything you do with it is not going to look amazing. So your skin is going to make all the difference in the world. So I just put some of the primer in between my hands and rubbed it in, and now I'm just going to place it on my skin. I always start on the center, so like the T-zone, and then just mix the rest of it throughout the rest of my face. Wow, that makes me look kind of weird. Like I'm pale, but this is like another level of pale here. Alright, so now that I've given that some time to sink into my skin, I'm going to move on to my foundation. And, oops, I fell. For my foundation today, I'm going to use the Huda Beauty, I think it's the Full Filter Foundation, and it is in the shade 150G Creme Brûlée. And I really like this. I thought I wasn't going to like it at first just because it is a full coverage foundation, and I've heard that it can look cakey, but honestly, I don't see it. Maybe I'm not applying as much as they are or something. I don't know, but I'm living for it. So I'm just shaking that up, and I'm just going to put some on my finger and then do that whole little swiping thing. I just like how this looks better rather than when I dot it. So I like to just do something like that, kind of mix it into my skin. I should probably use a mirror instead of the viewfinder here. And to mix that in, I'm going to use my ever so trusty Real Techniques body and face sponge. And this is still the same one, guys. It's still kicking, and I'm going to keep using it until it gives. So I'm just going to pounce it all over my skin. Drag it down. I find that with this one, if I don't drag it down, it's not a big deal just because it's a really good match to my skin tone. So that's good just in case I ever do forget. Oh my god, guys, like look at that difference. It makes everything. Foundation, like I've mentioned before, is my absolute favorite step. My skin is really pale and really red, so as soon as I put my foundation, yeah, I look like a ghost right now, but I love it. And I don't think I'm gonna do a very full coverage today. I mean, the foundation on itself with one layer is more than enough, but I don't think I'm gonna go in for a second one. The only places that I do see that I need to apply more is just right here, but I'm going to go in with a concealer anyway, so I'm going to cover that up. But the rest of my face looks pretty good. And this blended it in so easy, so quickly, so seamlessly. Like, I love this thing, honestly. Alright, since that is blended in, I am going to move on to concealer, and I'm going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape Contour Concealer, and it is in the shade Light Sand, so this guy right here. And I'm just going to do the huge down here, so I'm also going to put some on my Cupid's bow, my forehead, and my chin, and I'm going to attempt to do a straight line down my nose. It's just hard. That wasn't terrible. I'm gonna skip the middle there because anyways I like to contour that section, so there's no point in me doing this right now. And I'm gonna start pouncing my sponge over my face and then leave my under eye area for last. And now I just realized I started doing my face first. I'm going for a dramatic eye. That doesn't make sense. I do this all the time. You guys have no idea. And it's weird because for me, what comes naturally is to do my eyes first and then my face. But for some reason, whenever I'm filming, I just want to do my face first. I don't get it. Like, that is so weird, but... Right, and now I'm going to go ahead and set that concealer using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. So this guy right here. And I'm going to just pour it right onto the top and dip my sponge right in there and set my concealer. So everywhere I applied it, I always start doing my under eye area first just because that's the one that I'm most concerned with and I don't want that to crease. So that is what I'm doing. Wow, that is super brightening. I love it. I'm also going to place it everywhere I applied that concealer. I really did not remember how smoothing this is. Wow. Right, and now that I set my concealer, I'm going to set the rest of my face. And to do that, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Set and Smooth Powder in the shade 125. And this is the one for normal to dry skin. So I'm going to use my Wet n Wild powder brush, so nothing new there. Just dip it in there and just quickly go through my whole face. Even going to do my under eye area, so everywhere. Also bringing it down my neck. Okay, and since I pretty much look dead, I'm going to start bringing back some color into my face. And today, I think I'm going to grab an oldie but a goodie, which is the MAC Give Me Sun Mineralized Skin Finish. I have not used this in like a year or something, so I should probably throw this away, but it's like pretty much brand new. I've barely used it. So I'm going to dip my Sonia Kashuk number 100 brush and swirl it around where the mirror is, which is why you don't see anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply it to the usual spots. My hair gets in my way. So I did a really light, just quick brush of that, and look at how much better my skin looks. Like, I love foundation, but I also love that initial look when you start bringing color back into your skin. It just all makes sense. I'm going to keep that going here. Also going to apply that to my forehead so I can shrink this guy, slimming that jawline. Right, so now moving on to contour, and I'm going to be using the Benefit Cosmetic Hoola Bronzer. This is the mini guy, and I'm going to apply that using the Morphe E49 brush. I have been loving this Hoola bronzer. It's definitely the perfect shade to contour your face and to really get in there and create a very defined contour. So I totally understand why that hype is real. So I'm gonna try to find my hollows. Whoops, that's probably a lot, but I like a very defined contour. So I'm just gonna go ahead and work on this side. And at first it may look a little scary, but just blend your life away and you'll make it work. I'm also putting some under my bottom lip here. Gonna keep blending. And I'm gonna do a very light contour to my nose using the same products. Okay, and now I'm gonna clean up that contour that I just did using the same Laura Mercier powder. And I'm gonna apply that with the Real Technique setting brush. I always say setting sponge. I'm just so used to saying Real Techniques sponge that whenever I have to say brush, I just freeze. So if it sounds weird, that's why. I'm just used to saying sponge. So I'm just going to dip into that and just kind of carve it out. So, ooh, that is sharp. This angle is so weird. I'm like... And as you guys know, I don't really let that set, so I'm just going to grab the same powder brush that I used before and just swipe under there. Right, and now I'm going to move on to my blush. And honestly, I don't know which one to use. I have a whole bunch back here. So let's see. So I'm kind of between these three right here. So the Nars Orgasm, the Ulta Beauty Bouncy Blush in, does not say, yeah, it doesn't say, but I think I got this in one of those holiday packs that they have. And then this one is the Milani blush in, I think it's Amarose or something like that. I don't see it on here either, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I think I'm going to go with the Milani one, so let me put these guys away. And I'm going to apply that using the Morphe M105 brush. So I'm just going to dip in there, and then I always just swirl it on the top here, just so it disperses evenly in my brush. And I'm just going to apply that to the apples of my cheeks. It's a really pretty color. Okay, so I may have gone a little overboard with that. So I'm going to blend that in using the Morphe M406 brush, so it's just a dual fiber guy. And I'm just going to quickly brush that through. That looks good. And I think for now now I'm done with my face, so I'm going to start working on my eyes here, which I should have done first, but whatever. I always do this. I don't know why I'm surprised. Okay, and like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the main star for the eyes is going to be this little Huda Beauty palette, and it's the Mauve Obsessions. And I'm going to pick from the Norvina palette as well. So looking at the palette, I don't know what color I would start as my transition shade. So I'm going to open the Norvina to see if there's anything in there. Yeah. So I think I'm going to start off with the Norvina palette and pick up the shade down here, which is called Eccentric. So right here. And I'm going to apply that using my brush if I find it. Yes, here it is. It is the Morphe M504. It looks like this. I'm going to dip right into Eccentric and kind of tap off the excess and work this into my crease. I always like to start off with shades that are kind of like this, regardless of what look I'm going for. I just find that the other colors are going to blend in nicely, and this is a very flattering color that kind of works with everything. I'm just going to keep applying until I get the intensity that I want, and that might have been too much, but that is okay because we are blending. Thank God these colors so far, I mean it's the first shade, so let me not jinx myself, but so far it's blending really nicely. I don't have any fallout, so hopefully that is the case when I use the darker shades. And I'm sorry if like you guys see my mirror here, it's just that I have to get really close to it, and yeah, I know I still have the tag on it. It's just, I don't want to scrape it off because I can never get it off perfectly, so to me it bothers me less to just have the sticker there. Plus I never use the magnified side, so it's not a big deal. Really liking this color. And again, I'm blending everything in circular and windshield wiper motion. And then I'm just doing like a really big swirl like this to blend it all out really nicely. And I think that's good for my transition for now, so I'm going to move on to the next shade to deepen it up. And I think I'm going to start adding the mauve tones. So I'm going to go into the Mauve Obsessions palette and then pick up this shade right down here. And I'm going to apply that using, I don't know if I should just use this one. Yeah, I guess I'll just use this. This is the Morphe M511 brush. I'm going to dip it in there, pick up some product, tap off the excess, start here at the end, and then kind of just focus the product there, and then work my way in. Love this. I've been dying to do like kind of a cranberry look forever, so I'm so happy I picked up this palette. So now I'm just adding like that wash of cranberry to the look. Kind of a pinkish look, but I like it. Never really done any of these. I always mix one eye better than the other. Like this one is always so easy for me to mix and to blend, but my right, I always find that it's kind of splotchy. That's so weird. I think that's good for laying down the color. I'm going to go back to the same brush that I used before for my transition shade and then kind of do those big swirls on the edges here. Just make sure it all blends in nicely. That looks good. And I'm going to keep deepening the look up and moving on to, actually I don't know. Okay, so I think I'm going to jump down to this shade down here in the corner. It is a very deep burgundy color. Let me see. I need to be careful with what brush I use with this. I don't know. I think I'm going to use this brush, which is the Morphe M322 brush. So I'm going to dip in there, and I'm kind of going to do a halo effect. So I'm going to focus it on both corners of my eye. Right, so right here. This brush is probably a little too stiff, honestly. So I think I'm just going to use it to place the product, and then I'm going to blend using a different brush. That is too stiff, so let me just place the product on the other eye too, and then use a different brush to blend away. So to blend that shade in, I'm going to use the M503, which is kind of the same, just a little fluffier. So it should let me blend this out easier. And yes, it is. So I'm trying to just blend out the corners first and then just connect them. Looks good, it looks good. And I'm gonna go back into my transition shade brush and do the same thing. So swirl it around in there. Make sure everything is blended. And I'm also going to apply some more of the transition shade because it did get lost with all the mauve tones that I've put on. So I'm just placing that right on the edge and blend them together. Right, so I think I still want to deepen it up just a little bit more. So I am gonna go into this top color up here and just really focus that in my outer corner and my inner corner. And for that, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other shade. So place it with that M322 brush. And this one I might be able to blend in just because I want it to be much more concentrated. Kind of just little small circles here. And I know I look crazy right now, but you gotta look crazy to look good, right? And once again, I'm going to use the transition shade brush, which is here, and just go through the corners there, blending it all together. As I drag the eyeshadows just a little too low on the corners, I'm going to go into the setting powder again and try to clean that up really quick using the same brush that I used to clean up my contour. So just like that on the edge, not really doing anything too crazy. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the whole crease and creating the halo effect. Now I'm going to clean up the center of the lid, and I'm going to go into the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, so the same one that I used on my face. And I'm going to use that little BH Cosmetic brush, pick up some of the concealer, and then start carving out the shape of my lid. And if the shape doesn't come out exactly how you want it, it's not a big deal because you can always retouch it and apply more of your crease shade as well. So this is just pretty much a rough draft and just kind of laying down the shape. But like right now I can't decide if I want the top to be skinnier than the bottom or what. I think I do want the top to be thinner, so kind of more of a shape like this one. I'm going to tap out the concealer using my finger because I might have placed just too much. This is just a way that will make it easier for you to work with the concealer here. So I think that is good. I'm going to start applying my lid shade. And there are a lot of really pretty shimmer shades in this little palette here. So I don't know which one I want to use, but I'm kind of going more for this corner one up here. And if anything, I can mix some of the other colors. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's see how the shade applies, and then I'll see if I need to apply some setting sprays. So I am dipping my Real Techniques brush in there and placing the product right where I applied the concealer, and I'm not really seeing much of anything there. I don't know, I'm not really seeing much. Maybe I need to apply more layers or something. I mean, I kind of see it. I guess, I mean, anyways, it is a really light color, so maybe that's why. So I'm going to try to apply that wet in just a moment, but I do want to clean up the corners first. I'm going to use the same brush, so the little tiny one that I used to place the product first, and just kind of swirl it around the edges. So I do think I want something just a little more dramatic. I mean, it is really pretty and I do really like the color. So I'm really hoping that applying just some setting spray will really intensify that color. So I'm gonna just spritz a little bit of the Milani Make It Last setting spray right on the brush. And then I'm gonna pick up the eyeshadow and hopefully that does the trick. I forgot what side I sprayed. Okay. I mean, yeah, that definitely looks better. I mean, it definitely looks a lot more intense. Oh, thank God. I was starting to get disappointed. But no, that looks good. So I'm gonna apply it to the other side as well. Okay, so I am pretty happy with that. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of just swirl around the edges again. Yeah, I think that is it for the eyes. well, the eyeshadows. So now I'm gonna move on to eyeliner. And when I went to Sephora, I also picked up this, what is this? The Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper Black. I used to use this all the time and I thought my wing game was super strong. So I'm hoping that this still really works for me. I think I have to shake it, and so I'm just gonna start right up here. Now I'm really hoping that I can get a thin line, because that is always my issue, that it comes out way thicker than what I want. But that was pretty easy right there. That was super quick. And now let's see if I could do a wing with this. I mean, that was pretty simple, but it's not as dark as I would like. If I could, I don't know why I keep shaking this. I'm sure you don't have to do it as many times as I have, but for some reason I like to do it in between every time, so I'm not crazy. Okay, so these are the wings right here. Not bad. I think it's just that I'm not used to that. I've been using more of the standard liquid lips. I've been using more of the other types of liquid eyeliners, so maybe it's just that I'm not used to this, but not the worst. Not bad. I'm gonna move on, because if I try to fix it, it's gonna end up like up here by my eyebrows, and I'm not trying to go for that right now. So I think now I am going to apply falsies, and I'm trying to get into the falsies game. So I went on Amazon and I ordered a few. But I also bought one at Sephora, and I don't know if I want to use those or if I should give these here a try. I'm actually going to give the Sephora ones a try just because these look a little crazy right now. So I'm going to try out the other ones real quick. So I'm going to apply the House of Lashes Sephora Collection Falsies. I don't know if the name is back here, if it's Emilia. Probably is. So they just look like this. See, they're pretty dramatic. Hopefully they're easy to work with, because I am not a pro by any means. I am very much just a beginner, so hopefully I can work with these. They do look super dramatic. When I picked up the Amazon falsies, I also got an eyelash glue, because I've been using the Ardell ones and I don't like the squeezy tube, so I wanted to give this one a try, which is the Esqido lashes. Esqido, I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm gonna write it down below. And it is the companion eyelash glue, and it looks like this. It's super pretty. And it is a little brush, so I can apply that easier along the lash line. Now I'm going to apply some of this lash glue to it, and hopefully it works, because I really want to wear falsies. They look so pretty. But if this fails, I am just going to apply mascara. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Don't know how much to apply. Hopefully this is enough, because I am going to go out now, and I would really hate for these to just pop off while I'm talking to someone or something. That would be awkward. Okay, so really quick before that lash glue dries, I'm going to do a quick coat of mascara, and I'm using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and just a really quick coat. Go down, join your friends. I mean, honestly, that looks pretty good, so I am not going to be mad if these lashes don't work out. Okay, so I think they are pretty dry now, so I don't even know like by where to attack. I think the inner corner is definitely the hardest part. Okay, yeah, this is way too dramatic for me. Who am I trying to fool? This looks so ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, I love lashes and I love how they look on people, but I am like wearing umbrellas on my eyes. Like, you guys see this, right? Like, this is too much. I know I didn't do like the best job applying them, but just to get a feel for it, yeah, it's a no for me. So I am gonna remove these bad boys, and I am going to stick to mascara for today. So let me put these back. Maybe I have to trim them and play more with them, but right now I think I'm just gonna move on. So I'm gonna go back to the eyeliner and try to fix up, because the lash glue got on the line. There you go. And it is like it never happened. That was bad, guys. That was bad. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to do is work on my eyebrows, and I'm going to be using the same thing I've been using all these past videos, and it's the E.l.f. Cosmetics Brow Pencil, and it is in the shade Neutral Brown, right? Pretty sure it's Neutral Brown. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in these bad boys. Alright, and now that my eyebrows are on, I am going to clean them up. And I'm going to go back into that BH Cosmetic brush, and I'm going to dip into this BH Cosmetics Perfecting Concealer, and it is in the shade Light. You cannot see anything because I like to mix the product into my brush on the lid, but it looks like this, and it is very much loved, which is why it's empty. I don't really have like a one color that I dip into. It's honestly wherever it lands at first. All of these shades kind of work for me anyway, so it's not a big deal. So I am going to use that to carve this out. Right, and now I'm going to go ahead and set my brows using the Benefit Gimme Brow, and it is in the shade 4.5. I'm just going to go ahead and comb through them. I actually like this one a lot more than the Rimmel one that I was using previously, just because I find that if I mess up, it doesn't leave a huge splotch on my face, which is a mission to get out. But this one does a really good job at just combing my brows and making sure they stay in place. But I don't notice a difference as far as it adding fibers or anything like that. But that works for me because I don't like a very intense brow anyway, so for me, it works. Alright, and now I'm going to move on to my lower lash area. So, I am going to go back into that Huda Beauty palette, and I'm going to use this really dark shade up here that I use to deepen up my crease, and I'm going to apply that really close to my lash line. Well, actually I need to apply liner first, so. Okay, and for my liner, I'm going to be using the Nars Larger Than Life Longwear Eyeliner, and it is in the shade Via Veneto. This, you guys need. Like, I know I've said this before, but I just need to remind you that you need it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and apply that down here, and I'm also going to drag it a little low to deepen up the lash line. Always so hard with this because my eyes water and I am wearing contacts, and I'm always so scared that I'm gonna wipe this on my contact. So now I'm gonna go into that dark burgundy color from the Huda palette, and I am going to apply that using this Morphe M432, and it's just a flat definer brush. So I'm gonna dip in there, remove the excess, and then get as close as possible as I can to the lower lash line. And to blend that out, I'm going to go into the Morphe M321, and I'm going to pick up the transition shade that I used from the Norvina palette. So Eccentric, and just blend down here and drag it down as well. And since I lost a little bit of that dark shadow, I'm just going to reapply it again and just not blend it this time. And I'm going to apply a light coat of mascara on the bottom lash line as well. The last thing for the eyes is the inner corner highlight. And today I'm going to use this Stila Kitten eyeshadow. Guys, this is an oldie but a goodie, but it is so pretty. Mine's is kind of cracked and beat up, but I am still using it because it is that good. I'm going to use the same brush that I applied my lid shade with, and I'm just going to dip in there and kind of just put it right on the inner corner. It is so pretty. I'm honestly not a big fan of highlighting my brow bone. And the times that I do, I don't like to use shimmer shades. I like to just use a shimmer on my inner corner and then just use a light color on my brow. So let's see if the Norvina palette has anything for that. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm not going to apply a brow bone color. I think there's enough drama in the eyes, just like this. The eyes are done and the face is almost done. The only thing that I need is to apply a highlighter. And I'm going to go into the Fenty Beauty, what is this one? The Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal highlighter. This is life, guys. This is beautiful. You need this. So I'm going to go ahead and dip into both because I can never choose which one I like more. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the usual spots. So let me take my hair out of the way. Just, whoo, yes. It just makes me so happy to see this come on. Like, you guys have no idea. I get literal joy from this. I'm also going to apply it to my Cupid's bow as well as down my nose. Okay, and now we are finally at the end, and that means we are doing our lips. And for my lip liner, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Perfect Pout Gel Lip Liner, and it is in the shade Lay Down the Mauves. So I just thought this was very appropriate with today's look. Let me apply some chapstick because I hate when I put foundation and all that powder, how dry it makes my lips. So let me just put that on right quick. Alright, so I just put that on, and now I'm kind of just blending it in with my finger and also removing the excess that way. And I think that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and line my lips. And I'm going to do the same thing that I always do, and that's just to leave the center bare. Okay, and now that the lips are lined, I think I'm going to stick to the mauve tones and thinking between these two. I'm going to go with the lighter one, and if anything I'll apply some of the darker one just to deepen it up if it's not the shade that I want. So I think I'm going to do that. So this is the ColourPop Cosmetics liquid lipstick in Clueless, and I haven't used this in forever, so I'm going to mix it. Oh my god, I pretty much use this whole thing. There's barely anything in there. This used to be my favorite. Like, you guys have no idea. I would wear this every day. Sometimes even if it didn't match, honestly. It was just so good. I haven't gotten anything from ColourPops in a really long time. I should probably order some liquid lipstick. I think that's pretty good. I'm just going to apply a little bit of this one just to see what it will do. Oh, and this is by ColourPop as well, and this is, I cannot, R&B. R&B, that's what this is called. Ooh, okay, I think I'm gonna go with this one. I ordered this a really long time ago, and I don't think I've ever used it, to be honest. Alright, so I'm gonna do that same thing that I always do every time I wear liquid lipsticks, and it is just to put my lips over a piece of tissue paper and press down. So yeah, guys, this is the completed look right here. I love how it turned out. I am loving that dark eyeshadow. Well, it's not dark, but it's dark for me. Like, by my standards, this is good. I feel like everything blended really nicely, especially since I did the same thing that I always do, and that is do my face first and then my eyes when I'm doing dramatic looks. But it actually worked out for me. I had absolutely no fallout. Everything looked the same as before I did my eyeshadow, and yeah, I am loving it. And the dark lipstick, loving it. Definitely fall appropriate. I feel like it makes my teeth look really white, so I like that. I am so happy that I played with these cranberry shades because I love how it turned out, especially with my green eyes. I feel like it looks really nice. Usually I don't play around with mauve shades a lot because with my green eyes, I don't know, I know mauves are supposed to complement it, but for some reason I feel like it makes me look sick. But I don't look sick here. It looks good, so I'm happy. I'm really happy that the way everything turned out, and I feel like it turned out dramatic enough. Like, it's not like crazy. No one's gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's wearing too much makeup, you know, but it's like, okay, she did her makeup, okay. So yeah, I am so sorry about my little falsies fail. It's just that I can't do it. I don't know why. Like, I'm trying, and I don't think it was much of the application that went wrong for me, more of the shape of the lashes. They were way too dramatic. They literally touched my eyebrows. They made me look crazy, and they blocked everything that I did to my lids, which, like, come on, I worked so hard on that, and I'm really proud of it. So I'm not going to cover that up with those falsies. It literally felt like I was wearing umbrellas. So yeah, don't judge me. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not the only one that struggles. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that struggles. Like, that is tough. So yeah, falsies are probably not for me, but it's okay because I feel like the look looks good with just mascara on the lashes. You could still definitely tell that I have it on. It's still a pretty dramatic look, so I think it's okay. But I am sorry that you guys have to watch that and you're probably cringing. But I just wanted to share it with you guys because we all go through the struggle, you know. It's normal. Lashes are tough. Yeah, if you guys like this look, definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you guys can see when I post my videos. Also, comment down below if you had the same struggle that I had today. So yeah, that is it for today, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye!